Welcome back, guys. Today we will be solving the simultaneous equations using matrices. Let's get started. So here we're given a matrices question, given the linear equations 2x plus 5y equals 6 and 3x plus 4y is equal to 8. I'm going to look at the first part first. We're going to write the equations in the form ax equal b, where a, x, and b are matrices. Now, from the simultaneous equation that we have above, we're going to take the coefficient of the variables to represent a, and then variable x and y is x, and b is the numbers over the equal sign, which is 6 and 8. So looking at part 1, we need to write it in the form a x equal b. So now we're going to take the coefficient of x. It's going to create the first column. So the coefficient of x is 2 and 3. So that will be our first column. Then we're going to take the coefficient of y, which is 5 and 4, and that becomes the second column. The variables that we have here represents capital X, so it's x and y. It's equal to the solution that we have, which is 6 and 8. So I have my 6 and 8. So A is a matrix, a 2 by 2 matrix, 2, 5, 4, 3. And B is 6, 8, and capital X is just the variable xy. Now part 2 is asking to find the determinant of A. First, I'm going to look at how do we find the determinant of A. Now, let me give you a matrix with letters. So we're going to have A, B, C, D. So to find the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix, we multiply for the leading diagonal AD minus, so we have AD minus BC, multiply C times B, so I have CB or BC, whichever one you want to write. So that's how we find the determinant of A. So A, the matrix A, is what we have in part 1, which is a 2 by 2 matrix. 2, 5, 3, 4. That's matrix A. So let me write it. 2, 5, 3, and 4. So to find the determinant, we're going to multiply 2 times 4, that gives me 8, minus 3 times 5, that gives me 15. Just remember, I'm just following the determinant formula, so 8 minus 15 is negative 7. So once again, I do AD minus B times C, which is CB. And it's the same thing I did here, 2 times 4, that gives me 8, minus 3 times 5, that gives me 15, and 8 minus 15 gives us the determinant negative 7. So part 3 is now asking us to find the inverse. So once again, I'm going to remind you, how do we find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix before I attempt the question? So to find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix, it's 1 over the determinant of A, which we just found in part 2, times the adjoint. Now the adjoint, what we're going to do is switch the leading diagonal AD, so it becomes DA. Then we change the signs for the next two, so it becomes negative C, negative B. So all of this combination represents the inverse. So that is what I'm going to do here. I already have the determinant, so I just need to find out what is the adjoint. So to find A inverse, it's equal to 1 over the determinant, which is -7 in this example, times the adjoint, and the adjoint is where we switch the position. So 2, 4 becomes 4, 2. Then we change the sign, so it becomes, we have -5 and -3. But since it's a proof where we have to show what the question wants, we will have to multiply the 2 by 2 matrix that I have here by 1 over -7. Now we have a fraction multiplying by a whole number, so we multiply the numerator by the whole number. So 1 times 4 will give us 4. So it'll be 4 over -7, but we can also have it as -4 over 7. Same case here, -5 times 1 over -7, it will be +5 over 7. The two negatives cancel, and 1 times 5 gives me 5. That's why I have 5 over 7. Now, we're going to do the same thing for -3 times 1 over 7. So the two negatives once again will cancel. So negative times negative is this positive. So we'll have +3 over 7. And then the next part that we're going to look at is 2 times 1 over -7. It's the same thing as -2 over 7. Now please note, -2 over 7 is the same thing as +2 over -7. Now here we have the inverse. And both of these are the inverse, but just because the proof wants it a specific way, that is why I've done this. Now part 4 wants us to use the inverse matrix from part 3 to find out what is x and y. So I'm going to explain what exactly we're going to do. Remember, we have the general form ax is equal to b. We have written the simultaneous equation as ax equal to b. A represents a 2 by 2 matrix, and B represents a 2 by 1 matrix 6, 8. Now, once we carry A over the equal sign, which is matrix A, it becomes the inverse, which we found. So to find out what is x and y, we are going to multiply the inverse matrix by the matrix B. We already found what is the inverse matrix. So what we're going to do is replace the inverse matrix with the -4 over 7, 5 over 7, 3 over 7, and -2 over 7. So this matrix that I'm talking about is the inverse, which I'm going to write here. Five over 7 and -2 over 7. Now we're going to multiply this by B. B represents a solution. So I'm going to have B, which is 6 and 8. Then we're going to multiply row by column. So I'm going to divide the first matrix into 2 rows and then go ahead and multiply it. So I'm going to multiply -4 over 7 times 6. But when you're multiplying a fraction by a whole number, you multiply the numerator by the whole number. Then I multiply 5 over 7 times 8. So doing the first one, -4 over 7 times 6, I multiply the 4 times the 6. That was going to give me -24, and then we just write the 7. So 4, 6 is 24, and then I have the minus sign over the number 7. Then we're going to multiply 5 over 7 times 8. So I have 5 times 8. That gives me 40. So I'm going to have plus 40 over 7. Then I'm going to multiply the second row by the first column. So I have 3 over 7 times 6. So 3 times the 6 gives us 18. So I'll have 18 over 7. Then I'm going to have 8 times negative 2. That is minus 16. So I'll have a minus 16 over 7. Now we're going to find the total. So when we're finding the total, because the denominator is the same, we're going to just add the numerator. So now before I do that, just to change our sign, positive times negative is negative. So now calculating negative 24 plus 40, that is just 16 over 7. So we leave the denominator as it is and just add the numerator. So negative 24 plus 40, that's 16. And then I write the denominator. So I'll have 18 minus 16, that is going to be 2. And then the denominator is 7. So that means x is 16 over 7 and y is 2 over 7. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.